Jiří Procházka, I read an interview that he did, and 5 different times during the interview, I thought it was lost in translation. And I was forced to remember back a week ago when he was on television speaking fluent English. But I'd read a little bit more, go, okay, no, this has to be lost in translation. There's no way that he said this. I came 5 different times and I had to remind myself, no, wait, he's fluent. It is not likely to be a typo. He was talking about, they're saying that they want to give him a world title fight. He came out and said that he would like the opportunity, but he needs to grow his skills, and he would like to do the world title fight in a year. That was the first one that jumped off the page where I'm going, huh? You want a year? You want to sit out for 1 year, right when you're at your height of opportunity. You got this ridiculous haircut. I mean, there's a lot of commitments that you've made here. You're going to have to walk around town with this thing coming out of your skull for a year before you get back in the ring and remind people why you have that haircut. I mean, I was stunned when I read this, read a little bit more about him. It turned out this isn't totally out of kilter. At one point in his life, he was offered a UFC contract. He said no. He actually said no. I'm not good enough. I am not ready. And went and worked on these skills. So now when I'm armed with that piece of information, I'm going, does he really think he can be a number 1 contender for a year? That he can just sit back? That anybody is going to care? And he was talking about it from this standpoint, which meant he was very out of touch. He was talking about from the standpoint of what's best for him. This business does not work with what's best for you. It works with what opportunity can you get in this time frame that works for everybody else. So I was just reading about a guy who I'm scratching my head and going, man, this is a rare skill. This is a rare talent who matches up very well with both Glover and Jan. Very, very well. I could see many scenarios absent of this interview that he just did where he would even be the favorite going into that fight. He won't be now. He won't be now that he's told us all he doesn't think he's ready. But is he right? Can you win a match that you don't think you can win? Can you succeed at a position that you don't think you're ready for? And I do see it happen a lot. Confidence is one of these words that the jerk who's writing a book that he's going to sell on Amazon wants you to believe that you have to have. You don't have to have confidence at all. 80% of success is just showing up. You don't have to be confident in the least. You're going to go out and try. You don't have to be confident. You need to prepare. You don't have to be confident. You got to make the weight class. I mean, there's things that you have to do. None of them say confidence. There is no clause anywhere within a contract you'll sign in the sport that says you got to be confident. There's nothing within the unified rules. So can he go succeed even if he doesn't think that he can? But it also then begs the question of, well, why do we want him to? There is nothing more gross in fighting than bullying. There's nothing more gross than throwing a kid out there who doesn't want to go out there. And as a crowd's cheering and telling him to get in there, if he doesn't want to be, you have to have 2 people fight that want to fight. That's what professional fighting is, as opposed to the playground. It's a large part of the difference is you have 2 willful participants who both have the same like-minded goal and dream, who are arguing that they want it just as bad and they're willing to sacrifice just as much. That's what professional fighting is. We got a guy who says he needs a year. It's a very tough spot. I don't know that it's one that we've seen before. I also don't know what it is Prokházka thinks he's going to achieve in a year. He's 28 years old. Whoever is telling him that 28 is young is lying. I remember very clearly being 18 years old at the wrestling banquet my freshman year at the University of Oregon when the seniors got up to accept their award and thank everybody for the memories and say goodbye. They were 23 years old, and I remember looking at them going, man, you guys are old. And I was right. They were. 23 is right around the age in life where you quit playing games. We now have a guy who's 28 who believes he's young. Procházka. Provider. You're not young. 28 is not young. You are old. You're not too old yet, but you are old. I can remember in 1992, Chris Campbell made an Olympic team. He was 36. They made him the flag bearer, and everybody on every sport referred to him as Grandpa. That was at 36. Dara Torres made an Olympic team in swimming at 40. Her husband's a doctor, and everybody assumed he juiced her because that's very old. Somebody needs to get a hold of Procházka here and tell him, you're not a young man at all, particularly in the fight business, particularly with the introduction of USADA, in all fairness. 28, you're partway out the door. Now you want to wait until you're 29? You realize the difference between you and the guy that you just shut off in the first round, right? Difference is you're 28 and he was 29. Someone got to sit him down and start from the beginning. I mean, if we're going to do this and some of it's going to be pleasant, start at the beginning, explain that hairdo to him. You can't walk around society with that hairdo unless you're a main event cage fighter and right? You got to start at the beginning. Secondly, 28, you're not young. You are not young at 28. You do not have a year while being healthy and handed opportunities. You don't have a year to wait for anything.